again. You always do. Looking a little dry there, fella. Oh, hi. Welcome back. I believe this is video 4, 5. I'll be losing track with this quarantine teaching that I'm doing here. We're going to talk about Homo floresiensis, kind of a hard word to say, but one of the coolest little stories in all. A very new find, 2004, if you can remember. Maybe you can't because you were like 1, I think. There was a pretty nice series that came out, the Lord of the Rings series. So in 2004, they found this species, brand new species, never found before, only found in Indonesia, on the island of Flores. Okay, so that's hence the name. But they dubbed it The Hobbit because of the Lord of the Rings series that came out. And Lucy, if you remember back with Afarensis, was named after a Beatles song, and that was the song of the year during the year that they found that. So 1 meter tall. So that's this. That's this tall. Little tiny people with a cranial capacity of 380 and 410. So, you know, as progression goes up, so does brain size, but in this case, we got a lot smaller. So what's up with that? It's a really neat story, and kind of hard to believe in certain circumstances, but again, look at the facts, look at the data, and fossil evidence is there. So here's a Homo sapien versus Homo floresiensis. So I can actually grab one off the shelf here. This guy here, if we were to look at the difference in sizes, okay? Much smaller, but notice the rounded head, etc. Definitely smaller brain, but based on the size of skull, that's what you're going to get. Okay? So here's the island of Flores. This is Indonesia. This would be Australia down here. It's a really high quality picture I chose for you for this one. Flores is the same island where you find the Komodo dragons. Okay? The largest lizard on the planet. They're not found anywhere else. So weird things have stayed with that island in terms of what we talked about, genetic drift. Things change specifically when you're isolated and not interacting with the other types of lizards, or in this case, species. So here's the lineup. And a Homo floresiensis right here. Yeah, I don't know why this guy has moon boots on, but they do. So we started this when we were talking about Homo erectus, and this is the kind of the mini version of Homo erectus. So if you were to look at this skull versus this one, it just kind of looks like it's a mini version of this, Homo erectus. So I kind of put them in the same category here. Now, the cool story about this is there's a thing called island dwarfism, where if you are an island that is, again, kind of isolated, it doesn't pay to be big, because then it's, again, you need more food and there's a lack of resources. So even today, certain species of animals are bigger on mainland than they are on islands. However, that doesn't work for everything. Some species get smaller while some get bigger. Things like omnivores that would eat anything, or scavengers, sometimes would get bigger. So this is where things get a little bit creepy. However, there was a study done, and specifically on this island, this was the study. So 116 island mammals, so we know what mammals are. 38 were smaller, and 12 were the same size, while 66 were larger than on mainland. So that's, again, mammals, a lot of them eat different things. Carnivores, specific to meat eaters, 13 out of 15 got smaller, while insects, 4 out of 5 got smaller too, okay? This is the creepy part. Rodents, things like rats and mice, 60 out of 69 rodents got bigger. Okay, so these little hobbits were walking around with giant rats and some really, really weird elephants. So again, it's basically you're generally smaller because of fewer resources. So here they are. These artist renditions keep coming. I don't know if there's a predator after this guy, but they ended the mullet revolution and moved on to kind of a more movie star look, I believe. Sorry, his thing's hanging out there. So this is an example in Canada. So brains were smaller as well. So again, if you're smaller, you're not eating as much protein, and therefore your brains don't have to be as big. This is a really great picture. I really like the teamwork going on with this one. But notice how small the elephant was. So they were walking around with giant rats, but mini elephants. I think that would be a great thing to do. You see a mother running off with the child to sit for safety. Family first. It's been like that for a long time. Oh boy. Here's a rat skull. So here's a New York rat. And here's a Floresiensis rat skull. So again, to scale, obviously they're not this big, but compared to a New York rat, I think they should have gone into the business of rat racing, like we do with horses. Is that not a good idea? Put a little fur saddle on the rat and just zoom out of there. Sorry?
You can call it the rat race.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. Maybe just for kids then. I think this one's the elder of the group, based on the white facial hair he has. Then there's the kill point right there on the giant rat. Wouldn't you love a mini elephant as a pet? Okay, I think that, I don't know why they would want to hurt these things. It makes me angry. This Homo heidelbergensis does not sound very Asian. Doesn't sound very African. So you kind of get the feel that Europe's involved now, and this is the first species we found in Europe. Now note the years, we're not dealing with millions of years ago anymore. We're dealing with hundreds of thousands of years. So we're getting close, the progression is there, and Homo heidelbergensis, not very good with teeth. Their dental hygiene was lacking compared to a lot of the other species, but they really were good smellers, apparently. Okay, so kind of an archaic Homo sapiens. Start to get to look, if we go back to the picture there, still don't have foreheads, remember that, but neither did the Neanderthals, okay? So basically, first find in Europe, Germany, France, Spain, UK, Greece. That movie where, what are they, what's that called?
Sound of Music.
Sound of Music, I think was based on the life of Homo heidelbergensis. I haven't seen the movie, but I hear that's what it's about. Very smooth cranium, getting large brains again, okay? However, the jaws and teeth are still a little bit bigger. So I think I'll end it there. See you next time.